and I'm your host, Karabo Baloyi. Here we'll be having conversations with different people from different walks of life, and they tell us about how they managed to build their careers. Today, this is a very special episode for me because it's not every day that you have a king as a guest, a king of the weekend. Hey.
How's it? How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm amazing, and you know, I feel honored to be here today.
I'm honored.
At the beginning. I love the beginning of journeys.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, we will be here more often. That means...
Can't wait.
Okay, tell us about how you started from the beginning as a little boy. Where did you grow up? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Tell us more about your journey.
I love sharing that as well because I believe we all need to share our stories of how we got to where we are, just to inspire the next generation. So I'm a Durban boy, born and bred there, literally crashed primary school, high school, I was in Durban. I moved to Johannesburg, and don't laugh at when, in 1999, okay? When I went to...
I was 2 years old.
You see? When I went to varsity at Wits to study accounting, but before then I had this passion just of being in the industry, you know, like growing up with the Kwaito generation, watching all these guys, TKZ come to be, your Brothers of Pieces, your Boom Shakas, and just being blown away by it all. You know, I wanted to somehow find myself in that space. And at the same time, I had this amazing love for radio and the theater of the mind that it created. And I think that's when the dream kind of manifested for me to start with, right? And it's so cool that many moons later in life, I was actually able to do all of that, you know, have a drive time show on a massive national station, well, more than one, and then also be able to release music and have iconic music at that. So it's been an awesome dream. And I think from that point onwards, I mean, I got to Joburg, I knew nobody except for my uncle and his family in Dobsonville in Soweto. So I needed to literally start from the bottom, you know, making connections, meeting people. And I think at that stage of my life, I realized how important it was for you to be an asset. Like you needed to play a role, like you were doing. And I think the niche that I created for myself then was always having to be that guy you have to call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's worked out for me. And there we go, right?
I want to hear more about why it is that you studied accounting to begin with.
Yeah. So I studied accounting because it was the easiest thing I could find to study at varsity, because I have a natural connection with numbers, and you know, like in high school, accounting was a breeze for me. So I was like, okay, so what does this curriculum look like? How much work is there, like assignments wise, test wise? And you know, accounting was really easy because we had one test during the term, and then it was exams in June, test in the second semester, exams at the end of the year. So I had a lot more time and space to kind of discover all these new things that I wanted to have as part of my journey. Okay,
so you didn't think about being an accountant? Is that something you actually really wanted?
Well, I was there on a sponsorship by like a major auditing firm at the time, like one of the top 4. And we were doing VAC work. Especially in my later years of study, we were doing VAC work, and I realized that this is not how I planned to have my life pan out, like in that role. So when I finally got my degree, thank goodness, and I was supposed to actually go to the auditing firm to start my articles, I realized that I just couldn't do it. So instead of taking the bus that day to Woodmead, I took it to another agency that I was working with at varsity, like I was doing a lot of cool things on campus. And I said to them, this is me, you know I'm an asset, so how can I help you grow like what you're doing as well? And you know, in return, you guys will help me find myself in the space and give me that platform. And it worked out, I think.
Wow, okay. So did you have an interest in music as a young boy? I mean, really, music and accounting don't go along.
They should, because if you're a musician, you need to know the accounting or you're gonna get cheated.
Oh yeah.
So
did that help you?
So I'm always a firm believer, definitely. I'm always a firm believer like in having some kind of solid education basis, especially when you read the contracts that they present to all of us that are draconian, that haven't changed since the beginning of time with music. And that's why a lot of musicians die poor, because those contracts are really something else. So you know, I'm privileged that I'm at a stage in my life where I'm able to go through those and no clauses miss me. Like I've sent back contracts numerous times with numerous players to say, change this, take that out. And I think also, just as an added extra on that, there's so many clauses there like that I take it or leave it. It's so crazy. And I look at kids that might be in a worse off position than we were, that have to sign those things and you know, sign away their talents and sign away their lives. And that's crazy. So to answer your question though, yes, definitely. When I was in high school, I was actually in a Kwaito group with my brother, the comedian Trevor Gumbi. We're actually half brothers. So
really?
Yeah. So we were in Kwaito group like back in the day. We called it 031, which was the dialing code for Durban. And we really had the time of our lives at the time. I mean, TKZ was a very big inspiration for us then. Like that was the style and swag we were going for. But I'm kind of glad we didn't go that route.
Why?
Because I wouldn't have discovered all these amazing things like that I've been able to tick off in my life now, and also kind of, you know, seeing my brother shine in what he's doing really melts my heart.
So what would you consider to be your breakout song? Is there a song that you're like, once this came out, you were like, okay, I'm going up. From here onwards, the sky's the limit?
I think a song for Naves and I that definitely changed the pace of our trajectory had to be a song which I unfortunately named KOTW Anthem. Okay. And I named it that because of my marketing brain as well. I mean, Naves has a marketing qualification, and we've always been very interested like in how things work, like in the marketing space, etc. So we were like, this song for us kind of felt like the right kind of catalyst for where we were headed as the Kings of the Weekend as well. So, you know, KOTW Anthem makes absolute sense. But on the street, looking at the target market, I mean, people requesting it, people didn't know the name of the song that they loved. They're like, why can't we find the Slisha Nafa song anyway? And that's because it wasn't titled Slisha Nafa. So, you know, you had to kind of learn those mistakes as well to simplify things going forward. So yeah, definitely like that song. I think it didn't change our lives from a financial impact. It changed our lives from a visibility point of view more than anything else. And definitely there was a lot of awareness around SPHEctacula and DJ Naves, and it opened doors for us to meet a lot more people in the industry. And so to this day, I really, really appreciate all that Professor did for us with that particular release, alongside my homie there on production on that particular song. Did amazing music.
Okay. Well, yeah, I also didn't know the name of that song, but I was thinking about it on my way here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to talk about your radio hosting space, career, or whatever.
Yeah.
Now that you are doing that, did you find that to be an easy transition?
No, it wasn't an easy transition. I mean, I think the interesting thing for us, for Naves and I, which is part of our growth, was when we first moved to KZN after being on Metro for so many years. We had to adjust to the pace of a drive time show in KZN and all that comes with. And then when we came back to Metro FM, we also needed to readjust again and like pace it down and all of those things. So that was amazing learnings. You know, much props to all the people like that we could kind of lean on to help us with that pacing to get that right. And I think it worked. And also like just some of the guests like which we had on the show were very, very amazing.
Have you had a really bad interview?
Like I think being the consumer professional that I am, to everyone else, no, but to myself, like there's some guests like which I was like, why did you even bother? Why did you even accept our invitation? Because you clearly don't want to be here. And sad to say, it was one of the Janos superstars like at the time, and we were talking about the impending launch of their latest single at the time, but he just wasn't interested.
Wow, you were more interested than he was.
Yeah, and like the thing is, we were on text based like prior to us going live, and everything was cool. But when we were live, it was like, yeah, it's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, people must get it. So then I texted after on some, and then, are you okay? Are you going through something? He's like, I'm just sleepy. And I found that interesting, like, because for us, I mean, being given that kind of platform and opportunity, that's something that you hope for your whole life. I mean, being interviewed on a drive time show as big as the one that we were on, and to kind of wasted it like in that manner was weird for me. But I think it also just speaks to there's just a lot of things that the current generation needs to work on and get right.
So how long have you been DJing for?
For over half of my life.
Really?
Yeah, like luckily enough, like I think I'm very privileged in terms of that's given me time and space to perfect the craft, perfect the performance, understanding of things, all of those things, like which is interesting because I was chatting to my peers the other day, and we've got careers that have spanned over 2 decades. But when you look at some of the major artists right now, most of them came up at the start of the lockdown. So their careers aren't even 4 years old, and they're doing so epically well. So you ask yourself whether looking at their moves, are there steps that they might have missed, like which might affect them adversely. So it's always like a very interesting discussion to have.
Do you wish that you came up at a time where it's much easier? Like now it's much easier to come up.
It is much easier.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like, damn, I wish I was, you know, a millennial, and I wish that things were easier for me. Technology has made so many things so much easier.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that way?
No, I don't, because I'm of the firm belief that everything happens when it should. So, I mean, my big break came when I was 30 years old, when I was close to giving up, and I was just like, this thing is not for me. Maybe let me go back to accounting, and that's when I got my big break. And that was 12 years ago, so I'm 42 years sexy.
Years old. Okay. Do you consider yourself a veteran?
Do I consider myself a veteran? Not yet. Okay. I think I still have so much more to do, like in my career, before I consider myself as legendary, as a veteran, etc., etc. So yeah, not yet. I mean, there's people like that we look up to, like your Oskidos, your Glenn Lewis's, people like that have been doing it for over 30 or 40 years that we can call veterans. And I definitely am not on par with those guys as yet. Yes. Lots more steps to do.
Okay. And did you ever think that you want your own, like you want to be an individual, because you're always attached to names. Yeah. It's always SPHEctacula and names. It's never just SPHEctacula.
Yeah, and that's another honor for me, like something that I'm so grateful for in my life. Like I said to you, life changed for me at the age of 30. So I'd been doing it alone for 30 years. So when this union came, and look at what it's done thus far for us, I definitely wouldn't want to do it alone. I would never want to walk this alone. Things like traveling, things like performing, you know, having that person to throw ideas at and they throw them back at you, and then you walk forward in life and into initiatives together. It's such a blessing, especially to have the kind of brotherhood that we have as well. It's something like that was God sent, like that I'm grateful for.
Is he like your best friend?
Yeah, like without a doubt. Like I think even beyond that, I mean, he's I firmly adopted him into my family. Like Naves is my brother. I mean, he's a godfather to my son, and just so many firsts. He has my mother's number, he has my sister's number, so he's definitely a part of the family. And I think like something else, like which for me really touches my heart and something I'm totally grateful for. And this is where you just like God, like when you do your things and you put people together and you bring people into people's lives, is this what it's like? Because then this is beautiful, and it's something like that I wish for everyone out there. And I say this because I moved into my new house this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And the person like that designed this new house and was behind all the renovations attached to it was Naves. And he said that's what he wanted to do for me in my life. And that for me is amazing and really brings me to tears.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had somebody like that.
Keep sifting, it'll come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Serena. Anyway, I wanted to talking about brotherhood.
Yeah.
I know that you recently lost someone you considered to be a brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that affect you? Did you cope well with it? How are you doing?
I don't think any of us have coped with losing DJ Dimples. It was so unexpected, and it was, you know, at a trying time for all of us. We were all trying to find ourselves out of lockdown, you know, having financial headaches here and there, especially like this year for us. Like a lot of things have been happening behind the scenes, and then this happens. And I mean, we haven't even had like real conversations around what led there. Don't know, can't tell you. But for me, looking at that relationship as well, I mean, we met in 2001, 2002, and watching him and what he did with his career as well, and still staying as that humble person like that I've known all these years, and looking at him make a difference in the game and so many people's lives has been absolutely humbling and inspirational. And for us to lose somebody that important was really devastating, and it's something like that we're going to struggle with for a while.
Well, condolences.
Thank you.
Nobody ever gets over something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think people ever do. We just have to learn how to move on in this life. Anyway, on a lighter note,
right,
you have a podcast.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, you want to talk more about that?
I'd love to share like just how we got there as well. So just in terms of what we did on the Drive Time show, we didn't have a lot of time whenever we interviewed people to get deeper into their stories, to learn more about their lives, etc. So we decided that the best way to do it was to kind of take it out of that platform and make it a conversational space, wholly centered on our guests, and be able to learn tidbits about their lives and just the walk that they've been on thus far. And that's how the King's Cast came to be. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey. We are about 8 to 9 episodes in. And it's been so cool because it's been a great opportunity for us to chat to our idols as well, and people that we look up to, just around all that they've been through, especially the challenges, because I think that's where we kind of learn strength from them, like draw strength from them rather, and be able to kind of apply that in what we do, because we are following like what we are doing, whether we like it or not. They've done it all before us. So it's very, very cool to see and just be able to avoid all those pitfalls as well, like in your own life. So something amazing. I mean, reading the comments on the episodes is always great, because it just shows you that you're on the right track and people are gleaning from what you've put forward as per your plan originally.
So you've been a DJ, you've been a radio host, you've been on TV, now you're doing a podcast. Is there anything else that you want to do?
I just want to check, am I dead? Because you said been.
No. You're a DJ.
Like has been?
You're a DJ, you're a radio host, you've been on TV.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Bit better.
So is there anything else that you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm very excited about, we're currently pushing very hard on our passive income away from the entertainment industry. Okay. Like that's grinding along nicely. We obviously burning our fingers a bit as well and collecting some school fees on that front. But we're hoping that when that really comes to fruition, we can be able to do a whole lot more things in this entertainment space, because it's like so interesting. So many business people that we chat to about doing things, they all bring it back to wanting to do things in our space. So I think Naves and I decided that instead of fighting it all the time, let's embrace that, because like it's a gift. People like want to work with you and throw money into things that you want to do. You can't, shy away from it. So it's just about trying to make those things great. And I think you can expect a lot from us going forward as well. Even like sitting in a behind the scenes role on that and allowing young talent to actually shine, because that's something that Naves and I are very, very passionate about, like seeing young talent shine. And that's why we were involved on that Ones and Twos TV show as well, which saw the likes of your Prince KBs win and become the mega stars that they are now. I mean, I remember when we were at SPHEctacula FM, we actually had Hope Mbele as our intern at the time, and look at what she's done in the space now. I mean, we are literally currently on the same station now. Wow. So those are the kind of stories like that really talk to us and just show us that you gotta pay it forward. You gotta open the doors for, like whoever's coming next and guide them, because we didn't really have that. We didn't have social media. Like I couldn't wake up in the morning and say, go and see like what Fresh and Skido and Bob Mabena are up to. We couldn't do that. So yeah, so for us it's very important like that we are those beacons for the ones that follow us to shine the way for them.
I want to say that I'm so proud of what you've done.
Thank you.
And I'm proud to have you as my friend. And I know that every single time we bump into each other, you
see where this is going. Okay.
So all this time I'm insisting that you take a shot with me. Okay.
That's cool. We can do that.
So let's toast to more success for you. And I know that you're trying to do things outside of this entertainment industry.
Yeah.
I hope that they pan out for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And I think in return,
Yes.
I want to send blessings your way as well.
Thank you.
And just say congrats to you for taking this step, you know, like realizing your passions and having a vision for what lies ahead.
Yes.
And I hope that other people see what you're doing, recognize the efforts, and open up the doors that need to be open for you to get the shine that you need.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. You didn't even clink. Like.
You're wasting time. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Oh, definitely. I think this is to the next generation, especially of talents. And it kind of hit me like while watching an interview as well this past weekend, that teamwork makes the dream work, right?
That's true.
That also means that you don't have to always be number one. Sometimes your gift and your role is to be in supporting them. You, in your group of friends, you don't have to always be the star artist. Maybe you were meant to be the amazing manager, maybe the amazing social media manager, maybe the amazing bookings person, maybe the amazing logistics manager. Let's all play a role and, you know, take what we do forward. Because I've just seen like so many things where people will send you terrible mixes, terrible songs. As much as I hate saying that, because art is personal. So if this is what you're giving me, this is your interpretation of the art, and I respect that. But I think my point here is that find where you fit in. You don't always have to be the star, and go be great at it. And that's why I said my time came at 30, because before then I knew how to play the supporting role, and that got me to where I am today.
Well, I think that's a huge lesson that everyone can learn. He blossomed at 30, so so don't put too much pressure on yourself. Things are going to end up being all right, like they are for you.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of everything that you've done up until this point.
Yeah, well.
I know that you're going to do greater things. I can already see it internationally.
That's how it should be. Thank you.
So thank you, DJ SPHEctacula, for joining us, the king of the weekend.
Boop, 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 boop. Thank you.
It's not every day we have a king. We need to honor you.
Or, you know, being seen during the week, it's quite rare.
Yes, it is. During the day.
Right?
You don't see DJs during the day.
No.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. From my heart to yours, all love.